All right, so I just finished The Force Awakens from 2015. So I was in high school when this one came out, and I saw it in theaters. Me and my dad and my brothers wore a Star Wars shirt every day for 30 days leading up to this movie's release. Like, it was hyped. And I watched it in theaters, and I loved it in theaters, and I had some criticisms, and I still have some criticisms, but we're gonna start with the positives. I really like the special effects. I really like, it's one of those moments where I'm like, wow, this, Star Wars is finally, the special effect world has finally fully caught up with Star Wars, and now we can do all the things we want, all the things that everyone has ever dreamed of in the Star Wars universe with the technological capabilities and, materials capabilities we have now, which is really nice, and so I think a lot of it works out really well. I love BB-8. I've always loved BB-8. I like the character in Force Awakens. I like the characters of Rey, Poe, and Finn. I enjoy them. I like how they portray the Force, the drama in which they portray the Force, I feel like really lends credence to not just the power, but also this idea of, like, Luke built that the Force is different post the end of the Jedi because, now the image of the Force is going to be different because now you don't have this history building up on it. I like these implications. I like that. But every time this movie reminded me of its plot, I got kind of mad. I don't like the plot that much. I like portions of it. I like the general premise. I don't like that they're hunting for Luke. I don't understand how the First Order rose, but they're still the Resistance. Wouldn't they just be the government? Like, the First Order is not the government. The Resistance is not the government. How are you, you're not resisting them then. If they're not the government, you're not resisting them. Like, you're just two opposite ends. And, like, I see how they're the Resistance after The Force Awakens when, like, with the hostile takeover in this, but it just doesn't make sense. I don't understand how they're a band of freedom fighters fighting against something when that's not, like, the power. Like, it's a strong group, obviously, but, like, were they the military? I'm super confused. I also don't love how they characterize our trio from the originals. I don't like Luke, Leia, and Han's characterization that much. I think Leia gets the best characterization. They make her a general. They give her this strength. But I don't love what they do to Luke's characterization and Han's characterization, but I also respect that this is going to be the next generation's perspective of these characters and their story, and, like, it works. I just don't like it. It kind of works. Luke's not the cinnamon roll, people make him out to be in the originals. I'm not a big fan of how they go about some of these things. I remember the possibilities when this came out. I remember just the hope and the high feelings I had when it came out. I remember all these feelings. I remember all this stuff. Ultimately, I'm going to give it like an 8 out of 10. I really like the special effects. I do not like the plot. It's not my favorite, and I'm not a big fan of the sequels, so I'm trying to look at them with a new light instead of just prejudice.